here when I was, I think, 14 years old or 15 years old, and I came with my mom, and I went to high school here, and you know, I grew up when I was like a teenager or like a young girl in Italy, and I was like, anything that I knew about LA was like Dynasty, Chips, Happy Days, you know, and somehow I always had like the dream that I never even thought about being in the movies, but I always had the dream I wanted to be in LA, and I wanted to go to prom. We moved here with nothing, like literally like $5,000 in like our pocket. My mom was getting a divorce. We came here, she had some business plans, and so, you know, I went into the high school experience, and then as I was a senior in high school, I was asked to be a translator, an interpreter for an Italian distributor. That was like my big entry in Hollywood. It's just being a translator, and I started going to movie screenings with him, and you know, negotiating like deals, like how he would buy the films for Italy, you know, like, you know, independent films.
Why do you speak 5 languages? And what are the other languages? Because you have some mixed blood.
I'm kind of like, I'm like the United Nations. So my mother is Greek, but she's the daughter of a Russian prince, so who also was a very famous concert pianist and art collector in Greece. And then I went to private schools in Italy, and then I learned French, and then I started learning Spanish when I was here. So that's kind of like how it all started. And then the German, my grandmother is Swiss German, so I kind of had to learn a little bit of German.
Tell me more, how did you decide to create, and how long did it take you to actually create your company?
So I started this company with my mother, who is my business partner. We're actually probably maybe the only one, or at least probably the only mother and daughter team in Hollywood.
Does it work?
It works amazing. I mean, my mother is amazing. She's my best friend. She is, you know, I would say the shark, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
I found myself with my mom and my business partner, Alexandra, you know, being more of a producer than just a person selling movies, because we were helping getting the money for the projects of those filmmakers that we were in business with. We were advising on casting, you know, to see if there were like actors that would work better for like international markets. So we're doing all the work of like a producer without being a producer. The first movie that I did was back in 2004, and it was called The Drone Virus. And it was a small independent movie that I decided to put together because there was an author who wrote a book based on obviously the film, and I had signed on this very exciting young director who was from the Pasadena College of Design, and he had shown me his short, and I thought he was very, very talented. And so I decided to put together the book together with the script and the director, and we found some money from doctors and dentists, and because it was like a medical thriller. And so that's kind of like how we made our first movie. And I remember, because we had so little money to make it back in the day, I think when you're an independent producer, you have to learn everything. And when you do, you can be very proud of yourself, because once you make your big studio movie, then you will know how to run, you know, $100 million movie, because you knew how to make a movie for,
of course,
$400,000.
Yeah, of course, I can imagine.
And I remember in one of the films that I did, I'm not gonna say the name, but that I did a few years ago, you know, I had championed this Italian directors. It was her first movie here, and I had gone into business with a producer who had bigger credits than me, you know, and we were friends and we knew each other for a long time, and so I thought it was gonna be great, you know, great environment. It turned out to be very challenging because I was representing the director, so I was trying to like do the best thing and the best job for them as their manager, but I was also the producer because I had put together everything, the script, the filmmakers. I used some of my actor relationships to get the actors to come on board. And then I found myself being on set, and then basically whenever I was intervening on a shot, they were saying, well, kind of like, go back to your corner, I've got this, you know. And I was afraid to speak up at the time because I said, if I speak up right now, then maybe they'll just stop the movie, and then my directors will be fired, and then they're gonna go home, and then everything is going to, you know, go to hell. So I didn't stand up for myself, and they said every time you were there, we knew that you were there, and we were peaceful and we were content. And I think that's something that women are very good at.
Have you ever had days that you were so frustrated with this business that you were like, I'm done?
Yeah, I had quite a few. I had quite a few moments, but you know what? When I have those moments, I just go and see a film, and I remember the struggle that these people went through when they made the movie. Because now it's never easy. Nobody will say, "Oh, that was the easiest thing I ever did."
Yeah. I just woke up this morning and
I woke
decided
up
to
this
do
morning,
it.
my movie happened, you know, and I was like, "Hey, I'm starring in a film, or I'm directing my first movie." So when you go do that, I mean, you have to celebrate the successes of others, and I think that's the most important thing. And that's what I love about America is that everybody. I mean, most people, even in Hollywood, they truly celebrate your success when you have it. I can't even say that I have a dream project because that would mean that I'll have to tell you about 15 of them. So, and I want to make them all. And I have like another 15 I want to do next, and TV series and unscripted. But you know, anything, people say, what do you choose? Like, you know, winning an Oscar or like having a movie that opens like $200 million in the box office. I would probably say getting an Oscar. Like if you look at my screen, like the screenshot of my phone, it has an Oscar picture on it because I can remember, because that's something I always wanted for myself, is to win an Oscar. To me, that's more important than having a movie that makes a lot of money, because that's, again, it translates with quality work.